Now, sports with Wesley Boone.
We are live from the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame, where finally the Louisiana Hall of Fame class of 2020 is being inducted in 2021, just over a year from their initial induction date. And we're actually joined now by the inaugural recipient of the Louisiana Sports Ambassador Award, Tim Brando. Tim, thanks for being here with us.
Wesley, listen, we waited this long, right?
After a year away, the Radiance Technologies Independence Bowl is back. It's UAB, the Blazers, taking on the number 13th ranked BYU Cougars right here at Independence Stadium. That number 13th ranking gives the Cougars a pretty special distinction heading into the matchup. Welcome back. Let's take you back a year ago. Schools shut down. Spring football canceled. The status of the fall season unclear. Need a vacation? Look, I hear you. How about this? I'll take you down to Austin for some East Texas playoff baseball action, huh? Don't say, oh, Wesley never did anything nice for you, because that's what I'm doing now. To Austin we go, a city full of culture, art, and pretentious coffee shops. This time last summer, the status of high school football in Louisiana was up in the air. This summer, just the opposite. Executive Director Eddie Bonine speaking today as the LHSAA announced a new partnership with Ochsner Health. The question on everyone's minds, does Mr. Bonine believe this fall season is in jeopardy? After a 2020 season that saw games canceled the week of and new games scheduled sometimes just days out, on the first day of fall camp for the Bulldogs, the word of the day is structure, something the team hasn't had since the 2019 season. Today in Texarkana, the KTAL sports team was invited to speak to a very enthusiastic group of summer camp kids at the Southwest Center. Now, we told them all about our profession, and then they immediately wanted the opportunity to take our job. So now we go out to our reporter, Phoenix.
My name's Phoenix, and I'm going to be asking Logan questions. Do you like Mario?
Yeah!
It's time to announce this week's Game of the Week. Put the graphic up. What do we got? It's Falk, the Panthers. They've got the unenviable task of trying to take down one of the best offensive teams in the state of Arkansas, the Prescott Curly Wolves. We'll get you ready for this game all week long. And, of course, our Sam Rothman will be live from Prescott on Friday. It was cold, it was wet, but the weather did not put a damper on the 2021 Independence Bowl. Probably the greatest game in the history of this storied bowl. UAB pulling off the upset of the 13th ranked BYU Cougars. And John, at the end of the day, BYU just making a critical mistake late that cost him this one. It felt like that, John. The game's two most critical plays coming on back-to-back possessions for the Logansport Tigers. Cam Boykins throwing a pick six, coming out and then throwing another pick six. Homer, excellent in all three phases of the game today, scoring defensive touchdowns, a special teams touchdown. Coach Casey couldn't have asked for more from his Pelicans. Grambling State football has not been a good football team this season. They haven't been a good football team this calendar year. Today, Fobbs paying the price for back-to-back poor seasons from his team. As the university announced, Fobbs has been relieved of his head football coaching duties. The accolades were many for Fobbs after taking over the G-Men in 2013. Fobbs was named SWAC Coach of the Year 3 times during his tenure. The G-Men captured 2 SWAC championships and a Black College Football National Championship. 2021, though, has not been kind to Grambling State football. After a winless spring season, the G-Men are 3-12 in their last 15 games. Special teams coordinator Terrence Graves will serve as the interim head coach for the Bayou Classic. Grambling State football had a rough outing on Saturday in Tallahassee, falling to the Rattlers 26-3, but the main takeaway had nothing to do with the game itself. After a handful of tense halftime altercations between the Florida A&M band and a Grambling State football team just trying to warm up before the second half, tensions finally boiled over later in the second half with the brawl that delayed the game for 15 minutes. Coach Fobbs addressed the altercation at his weekly press conference.